G'day folks, well in this video I'm going to show you how I solve this pentultimate puzzle. I do not claim that this is the most efficient solution, but I think it is a fairly simple solution given the nature of the puzzle. It's a bit of a pig of a puzzle, to be honest, and part of the reason for that I think is that every time you do a move it just involves so many pieces. If I just even do something simple like that, there's so many pieces on the puzzle that are being moved around, and it makes it quite difficult to isolate things and see what you're doing. So the sequences that I'm going to be using are very simple sequences, but it does get, near the end of it you've got to have your wits about you for sure, because one false move and you can basically muck the whole thing up and be in almost a position of starting again. That's part of the challenge of it, is just really concentrating. So now let me begin. I think it's worth building it up in a layer by layer approach to a certain point, and what I mean by that is I'm going to start with this, just assume that the white center is there, build up some white corners around there, and then these center pieces. So if that's on the bottom, build up those center pieces. There's really no point doing a lot more than that, as you'll see. So let's begin that. To put the white pieces in, it depends where they are as to what approach we want to take. We want them either here or here, and let's have a look. We've got this white, blue, purple in. Let's just leave that there and we'll say that's our starting point. And you can put any white corner in there to begin with. So we've got to find out what goes here. Well, it's the other white, blue piece, if we can find that one. There it is. And the first thing is to kind of get it so it's facing a little bit more of the correct way. Now I've knocked that one out, so that's no good. Turn that around and maneuvering it a little bit. In fact, we'll turn it off that way, put this one, that one's still there, just aiming to get it into a position so that the white is sort of facing upright, either here or here. So I'll probably, let's turn that around again, and now I should be able to. Okay, so the white's there. Now if it's in this position, I've got to say, where does it go firstly? And it goes into that part there. Now what is going to happen is, if it's something like that, I think, where does that piece go? Well, when I turn that down, I see that that piece lands there. But if I turn it down the other way, if I turn it down, say, like that, I see that it's actually gone down to the lower layer. And that's the clue as to what I want to do. So I'm going to turn it down to here, move my white piece in, and you'll notice it doesn't disturb any white pieces that already happen to be there, and then turn it up. That's why I say it depends where you land as to what you're going to do with it. This one here, the white, blue, blue, we're not really sure where that goes yet, so let's pretend we don't know. What about this one? White, purple, light blue. We've put it down there. It's now on this region, so we've got to find, okay, I can see that it goes into that position there, and because of that I can turn it up like that, and that's in as well. Let's have a look now if we can place, yeah, we've got this one here. So we know that that belongs there, and once again we think, well, where's this piece going to turn? How do we turn that piece around? And I say, well, if that's off, let's actually put it over that direction there. I can move that down, put it on, and turn it up, and that's 4 of them. Now this one is in that layer and it's with these pieces here, so what I've got to do first is just turn that off to move that out of the way and just return this piece so that I don't dislodge it. Now I'll go and find that piece. Looks like it's here, and I've managed to not displace any of these, and if that happened to be like there and I found that I was going to displace it, all I would do would be to turn it so that the blank piece was being moved. So once again, this is on the lower hemisphere here. I think, well, how does that get there? This comes down, piece goes across and goes in. If we look at the white face now, we can see that the corners are in, and in fact at least 2 of the centers are in as well. We'll take that. It's pretty easy to get the other ones in, and this is the next thing. And so that is a dark blue centre. That's different colours, by the way. That's purple, that's dark blue. Don't know how that comes out. So there's my dark blue centre. So all I'm going to do is turn it up, put the dark blue on, and return it. If you can hear a vague noise in the background, that is my cat snoring. I'm not making that up. Okay, so we've got purple here. In fact, let's just do the light blue, because I did want to make sure that I showed you what happened if the light blue was on the top. So if that is, and you need a centre that's on the top, you need it to go in here, all you do is just turn it up, put something else in there temporarily, bring it back down, and what will happen is that centrepiece will change. So now that light blue is going to be there, and we can do exactly what we did, and that we're in. And the last one here is the purple. Alright, now unfortunately that's as far as we can go with very, very simple moves, and from here on in it's about carrying out sequences, firstly to place the centres and then to place the corners, and that's the longest stage of the solve. So to have a look at what I'm going to do with the centres, let's see this on a solved puzzle. Okay, well I'm going to be looking at holding the face that I'm looking at here with an upward pointing pentagon, so the point goes upwards rather than downwards, and I'm going to carry out the corner piece series. This is going to be my right face, this is going to be my left face, and I'm also going to need this face here, which I don't know what that's called. It's probably back left or something, who cares, but that's the one I'm going to turn for my left face. So what I mean is I do an upturn, then a right turn, and up prime, and instead of doing this left turn, I'm going to turn this face like that. Continue my corner piece series, and bring it home, and we'll just have a look at what's happened. Clearly some corners have been moved. In fact, that one hasn't. Just some corners are all over the place. That's not a problem. The thing we notice is that the only other thing that's happened with the centres is that there's been a 3 cycle. So that centre used to be here, and it's gone to there. This maroon centre used to be here, that's cycled there, and the blue centre has gone there. So we've just got a 3 cycle of centres. That's all I need, that and its mirror, to put in the centres. Alright, well given that, what we want to do first is find the correct centre that belongs in the first position. So for example, I've got here green aqua something in a clockwise direction. So I want to find the green aqua corner. There it is, green aqua pink, and that tells me that pink can just be moved over to there, and that's now in the correct position. Let's turn it around. Let's now go green pink something. That'll tell us green. That's going the wrong direction, so we need to find another corner that has green and pink. There it is, green, pink, orange is what belongs there, judging by that corner. So we've got to move the orange piece to here. Now that means I can hold it like this and move that central orange piece down to there. So that is what I'll do now. And what we'll find is that that's now in, that's still in. All of this stuff hasn't moved. What's next? Blue, orange, something. Dark blue, orange, something going clockwise. There it is, dark blue, orange, red. Tells me the red's got to go there. It's 2 places over, so I might leave that and come around to this side and see if I can find something that can go there that's fairly easy. And it's pink, aqua, something. Oh, there it is, pink, aqua, whatever that colour is. Very light purple. That's 2 places over as well. Oh well, let's have a look. I guess I've got to do one of them, don't I? So what I'll do is move, I did say this was red, didn't I? Blue, orange, red. If I remember that correctly, yep. So I'm going to move the red into the centre here. How am I going to do that? I'm going to hold it like this and just do a cycle around there to put the red in the centre. There we go, red's in the centre. Now I've got to think where did that go? It was there from memory. And so now I can move it down to there. And I'm just going to double check that. Blue, orange, red I think was the go. Yep, there it is. So that's cool. So that needs to go there. Let's do that one. Okay, now probably what that'll leave us now is 3 pieces. Let's just double check where everything needs to go. I know that the yellow needs to go to the center. Got that one done, so it should be a cycle going around this direction. So let's check firstly, do we have a yellow, maroon, whatever that color is, corner? Yes we do. Yellow, maroon, light purple, and it's going anti-clockwise, so they are the correct 3 pieces remaining, but I know the yellow has to go there, so I've got to move them around like that. So for the last time, now that that's done, as a double check, I know that stuff is right. Let's check it with some others. Pink, aqua, funny colour. Pink, aqua, funny colour. That's good. Maroon, funny colour, blue. There it is, maroon, funny colour, blue. So it all looks good and all the centres are done and all the stuff down here that we had done is still sitting in position. Now that leads us to the final section, and this is the longest section and it is the most annoying section I think. And what we're going to do is 3 cycle the corners, and obviously it has to be a pure 3 cycle because the only other piece type that we've got is the centres. We don't want to be disturbing them. Let me show you how I do this on a solved puzzle. What I want to do is have this front face pointing downwards, so the pentagon is pointing downwards like that, not like that, but like that. And I'm going to call that my front face, and I'm going to do up, up, down, down 3 times, but instead of just doing each upturn once, I'm going to do twice. So that's an up, down, down. I'm going to repeat that. Okay, so I've done 3 of them. What I'm then going to do is grab this front face and just turn it 1 turn clockwise. Then I'm going to do exactly the same thing. 3 of my up, up, down, downs. And having completed that, grab the front face again and turn it anti-clockwise, if I can get that aligned. There we go. And what we can see there is that on this puzzle only 3 pieces have moved around. Let's have a look what's actually happened. I don't know what you'd call that, the light purple, the aqua and the blue used to be here. And that has just basically rolled up to that position. It's kept the same colour that was on here, on this face, has gone to there. This piece was the aqua pink, purple, whatever you want to call that. That's gone up to the top. And the way that I remember that is the colour that was on the front face again has just landed on the top face there. And then the piece that was here, the yellow, red, orange, has come from the top face and it's come straight down the guts of it. And the same colour that was up here has gone to here. So it's always the colours that were on the front and the up faces that we can see, they stay where they are. And that's just cycled 3 pieces that way. Now the reason that's useful is that if I wanted to reverse the direction, in other words I wanted to move 3 pieces back like this, the only thing I have to do is do my front turn first, then my 3 up, up, down, downs, and then a front prime. And that'll put them back. And if I wanted to go up this way, instead of up to the right, then instead of in the middle doing a front turn, I'll do a front prime turn. And the same thing, if I want to come down this way, I've really got 4 sequences that I can use. They're all basically the same thing, just depends on which direction I want to go. And we'll see in the solve how that plays out. Now with that in mind, what it means is that we've generally got to search for a corner like this one, I reckon, the green, blue, orange, that where the colour is sitting on a face and it needs to turn one turn across. And so this is not a bad example. We've got the pentagon facing downwards, and I can see that that sort of needs to roll into that position. So that's fine, that's fine. It's going to go up to there. At the moment, that's got a solved piece in it, so I don't want a solved piece there. Ideally, what I'd like to put there is the green, pink, orange piece. If I could get the green, pink, orange piece up there with the green on top, it would guarantee that I'd actually place that piece down there at the same time, get two done in one go. Now, that green, pink, orange piece is sitting here just beneath it, and it's going to be a bit of a pain to put it up there correctly, so I'm going to ignore that and just move some other piece into its position. That'll do. That's not done, except having looked at that, I wonder if that's worth holding off. That could be useful over there, so I'll leave that one. I'll grab this one here. So just one setup move for that. Now all I need to do is think through, okay, well it's going upwards, so that means I do my up, up, down, downs first. And because my piece movement is clockwise, I remember to turn it front anti-clockwise in the middle. So here we go, let's do that. That's two of them. There's the third. You can see things sort of come back together. And now because I'm going up that way, I want to do a front anti-clockwise here, like that. Let's go again. And the last one. And we did a front anti-clockwise, so we're now going to do a front clockwise to put it back. We will then grab that. Remember we had a setup turn, so we'll turn that back into position, and we'll just have a look what's happened. That green, orange, blue has successfully gone into that position there, and that's good. That's one corner done. How many are there? A few. And it doesn't matter what position we hold it. Let's have a look at that other one. We had this one here. I don't know if this was it or not. Can't even remember now. Doesn't really matter. In fact, I can tell, can't I? I can look at this one and say that was it there. Alright, so let's do another one. This time we'll do this one. We'll move it in this direction, and that's going to sit there. Of course, it's nice and easy when they're next to each other, so I'll definitely show you a couple when they're not. And this time I'm thinking, well, that corner there, the blue acroy thing, which is this one, it'd be nice if I could get that funny colour up to that position, because it would come down and do this as well. Can I get it there? Well, the first thing is I'll see where it is. I'll say, how would I get it there? Ah, look, I can just turn it straight up into that position. The problem is it moves that. So what I'm going to do first is get rid of this as a setup. So move that out like that. Move it up. Bring those two back. Lovely. Now that means that will come down to here. That'll go to there, and I'll get two of them done. I just have to remember to undo my setups. Now, in terms of the direction, it's going upwards, so I'll do the up, up, down, downs first, and I'm going, the piece movement is that way, so I'll do a front turn in the middle. Okay, do my front turn. And repeat. And finish with my front prime. Now let's have a look what that's done. You can see that a couple of pieces, that definitely looks good. That, you know, what's going on? Well, remember we had a setup and we had to put this back, and that setup meant we had to move this. Where did we move it actually? We had to move it up from there, so I had to turn that down like that, bring that back, and now turn it. And when I've done that, those setups have meant that that piece has successfully gone in there. So that's good. And we can always check that what we've already done is still there. And I can't even remember the other piece. I think it was that one that we did first. So it's pretty tedious. It's pretty long. I'm just going to maybe find another one here that's an interesting case if I can. Otherwise, I'll cut back in a bit later and make sure I definitely show you what to do if you end up with the last 2 or 3, maybe even twisted in position, stuff like that. Let's have a look. That one's just got to go next door, so let's leave that because we know how to do that. Same with that one. Here we go. Okay, this orange, pink, yellow. Now that's got to go up into that position. And you can see it's got to go 2 corners around, not just the one. So the way that I do this, just looking to see what's up there, I'll think, well, it'd be nice if I could turn its position around like that to meet that. But at the moment, this is in the way, and I don't want to involve that. So I'm going to turn it off, then turn that around, and then bring it back. Before I do that, I'm going to say what has to go up there. Orange, blue, red. Well, in this case, that's pointless because that's the piece I'm going to. So we're just going to do the one of them. So we're going to go 2 turns of the down face. Now bring that around. Return those 2 turns. And now that is in a position to go straight up there correctly. And just make sure we've got another piece in here that's not done. That piece is actually done. So I want to replace it with, say, that one there. I'll whack that in and just remember those setups. And now I think about the direction, going here to here to here, so it's the standard case. I might even forward through this. And there's my front prime turn. Now that's done the sequence. I had some setups and I think from memory I had to turn that back there. Now you can see that is in position, but I've got to undo these setups. So it was 2 turns that way, then turn this face, and then 2 turns back. Okay, and you can see that's how I got the piece from there around to there. And you can see we didn't disturb anything over there. Alright, if I can't find another one soon, I will cut back in later. Well, just cutting back in here, and I've got 5 left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Everything else is done. I do have a confession to make, is that I got to the point of having about 5 left a little while ago, and don't know what I did, but it all went haywire, and I had to redo the whole thing. So that's exactly what I'm talking about. So here I am at the second time doing it, and what I've got is this piece here needs to go up to there. That's cool, and I'm looking for the other one because I'd like, if possible, to end up with 3 left. If I can do another one here, that should give me 3. So I need the red, purple, blue, and that's sitting up here on the top face, and the correct colour is on the top face, so I just have to turn that around without disturbing this one. So what I'm going to do is just turn that off, then turn it around, and then bring that back. As long as I remember those setups at the end, I'm fine. And I'll now be able to cycle those pieces around. So this is the standard move. Now what I need to do, and you can see the 2 pieces that I want to be in there are in there, so I've just got to remember what I did. And I think I moved them down that way, and that looks good because that's matched back up. What did I do then? Turn it, must have been like that, and then return. Now that should leave me 3. So there's 1. No, in fact it's left 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I've actually got 1 in its position and the other 3 to 3 cycle. Now that's strange because I thought I did have that one going in. Must have been mistaken there. So this is all normal for me. Let's give it another go. I at least reduced it by 1, didn't I? So this one now, that's got to swing up. Let's have a look. It's got to swing up to that position. And now the red, purple, blue. Now that's currently sitting down here. So I really want to move that, if I can, up to here. Now let's just think what will happen if I do that successfully. That'll come in place, that'll place this one will go to that position, and I'll actually have 2 in there that are correctly positioned but twisted. Now I don't really want that, and if you do get that, or if you have 3 in position that are not oriented correctly, all you do is cycle them out with the same thing that we're doing now. So I'm actually just going to try and place one of these things. So I'm going to put this third one that's not involved up to the top, and because I've got to get it into that position, let's have a look. I'll turn this down 2 anti-clockwise and then return it. Okay, now I reckon I am good to go. Now I'm a little bit not confident with that. I just don't remember that. Don't remember that piece, excuse me. So I'm going to undo those setups and have another look at it. And in fact that was one of the pieces, wasn't it? And I don't mind doing this at all because I've stuffed it up once, so I don't really want to do it again. So yes, that was one of the pieces, so I'm all good in doing that. So let's do that again. Setups down, 2 anti-clockwise and back, and now we'll carry out the routine. Now to undo the setups, you can see that one has been placed, so I think I turn that down, bring this back 2 turns, 1, 2, and then turn that back up. Now from memory there was one more piece and one more turn I had to do that, that's right. Okay, let's see if that now leaves us with 3. 1, 2, 3, have I got any others? No, that's it. So definitely down to 3 pieces now. Now what would be super nice in this situation is if one of the 3 pieces was next to where it had to go. But probably that's not going to happen unless you set it up to be like that. So in this case I've got 2 pieces that are 2 corners around. That one is 2 corners around, so is that one. Doesn't really matter which one I go for. I've got to think, well, I need the setup first to get... in fact, there's a couple of ways you could approach it. I'm just thinking this through, going what I could do is actually just move that to there and get this other one around to there initially just to create 2 pieces that are next to each other. But I'm going to attempt to do it in the one hit. We'll see how we go. I know that to move that to this position, I want to turn that one around. So that means I can turn that off twice, turn this face, and then bring it back. Now, the thing is then that I would actually want the third piece, which would be the maroon, purple, red, which is this one. I'd want that to be in that position with the maroon colour on top. How do I make that happen? Well, at the moment it's not particularly simple. And I think, well, what would happen if I turned it down like that? If I turned it down like that, I could actually then bring it up with the maroon on top. So I'll just keep that in mind for a minute. That's a fairly simple setup. Might have to go to pen and paper here, we'll see. And I think, well, with this move, turning it off twice and then bringing this thing down to here, what happens to that piece? Well, it just swaps to that position. So, not too happy about that. Let's see what would have happened, and this is all part of thinking your way through these final 3 pieces. See what would happen if I first tried to get that maroon piece into its position, like that. Where does this piece go? Is that any more helpful? Not really. So, what that tells me is that I'm probably going to go pen and paper. Maybe I'm not. Maybe I'm just going to risk it. And you know what I'm going to do? This is genius. I'm going to turn it down there first, and that's ready to bring up. And if I bring that up with that taken care of, it won't be an issue. So let's give this a go. It was the maroon, red, purple. I don't need to remember that setup. That I can see. This one is the one that I've got to deal with. Now I notice that when I do 2 turns there, it brings this piece, which is the one I'm interested in, into play. And that's no good for me. So that then tells me, no, Oh, does it bring that piece? No, it doesn't. It doesn't at all. Beautiful. That just sits there doing nothing. Okay, awesome. So that's cool. So I've done my setup to move this piece. I'll remember that because I know what that is. And now that those two pieces are there, I can just turn this maroon piece up into position. Now I know that that is going to come down there, that is going to go to there, and this one therefore must properly align. Now you might be thinking, how the heck are you going to remember that? And my answer is, I have no idea. So we'll just see what happens. Obviously, because it's not a clear, because I've done so many setups, the puzzle now looks like it's really messed up. So if I do happen to forget what I'm doing through the move, I'm back to square one. So let's hope that I don't. Running through it again, I've moved this to here first with that setup, and then once I've done that, I move this piece up. So I just have to remember to move this piece back first, then undo this setup, and then I'll see to move it back. Alright, the final thing to think about, what direction are the pieces going? They're going upwards, but they're going this way, so I've got to do an F prime in the middle. Let's actually carry out the sequence. Okay, do the F prime. Let's do it again. Last one. And finish the sequence with an F turn. Okay, the sequence is done. All I have to do now is remember to undo my setups properly in the right order. And I think what I did, I had to go back first. Then I had to do the two turns, 1, 2, and turn that around. And bring back the two turns. And I think it was just that. Okay. And that is a pretty good feeling, and I am extremely relieved. So, yep, I'm happy to tell you that I did stuff up the first one, and that is pretty normal. It's very easy to lose your place, and that's why I think, as I said at the beginning, this is such a hard puzzle. There's only two piece types. There's only the centres and the corners, but because of the interchange with them, it's very hard to lose your way. Anyway, that is how I solve this thing. I hope that gives you some good pointers if you have one. If at the point of this video, the time of this video, these things are not mass produced, I think you can get them from some sort of 3D printing. I guess there's some people that make them, but I reckon they will eventually be mass produced. So hopefully this video will come in handy for you, and that's how I solve the Pentultimate.